Welcome to Stone Cottage Adventures. Space in our small home is tight and every inch counts. Looking at two existing cinder block walls with a fresh eye, we found an extra 2.5 inches in the dining area and our tiny powder room. This was the original cinder block wall that holds up the roof of the first edition. So we knew it had to stay. My first reaction to the cinder block that the house was originally constructed from was complete revulsion. What could be tackier? And these walls had decades of filth caked on them since they had been part of this exterior storage room. If you look closely, you can see on the right-hand side of the shelf some standard size bricks for about 10% of the wall. The remaining wall was old-fashioned cinder block. Initially, we assumed we would just drywall over everything. Since I was living in the house while the remodel was happening, I had lots of time to look at this wall. And something very strange and unexpected happened. I began to like the wall. The texture and the cracks were interesting. Maybe that says something about how bad the house was looking, but I wondered if I could keep it and make it look like a stone wall. The wall on the back of the house is where we cut an opening under the stairs. Because the bottom of the steps was visible at the top of the pass-through, I wanted to have this archway to create symmetry. So that wall needed to have drywall to mask the variety of materials, angles, and surfaces. But this wall, we had to mask the bricks and the structure at the top and patch a strange hole, but I thought it might work. When I told the contractor I wanted to leave the cinder block exposed, he looked at me like I was a little crazy. Being the ultimate perfectionist, he started giving me ideas for how we could smooth it out, put something on top to hide all those cracks and holes. But no, all I wanted was for the wall to be primed with white paint. My idea got total silence. The weekend after they painted the wall, I added a little of every paint in the house, even craft paints, to create this blotchy wall. When the contractor showed up Monday morning, he stopped, stared at the wall, touched it, and chuckled. They did have to cut through for the air intake, but they would have had to do that anyway. The extra 2.5 inches allows for a wider passageway as you enter the back of the house and gives me enough room for the marble top piece that I wouldn't have been able to use otherwise. Here's the next room with exposed cinder block. When we were planning our tiny powder room, I wanted to put it in this small space that had been part of the old kitchen. It was about 7 feet wide, which gave me room for a much needed linen closet. But it was only about 4 feet deep when you backed out space for drywall and this hunk of wall that couldn't be moved because it contains pipes for the upstairs bathroom. We had some extremely tight tolerances because of code, minimum 32 inches for the toilet. I was looking at those little corner sinks like they have in RVs because I didn't have space for anything but a toy sink. And I wanted the other side of the room for that linen closet. Then it hit me. Get 2 or 3 extra inches by leaving off the drywall. This time, the contractor's reaction was positive since he had seen what we could do. Most of this cinder block had been behind a wall and had strange things on it. I think some of it might have been alive. So I let the contractor have his way this time, but he left plenty of texture for me to work with. They painted it the same gray as the rest of the powder room, Amazing Gray by Sherwin-Williams, and I applied a whitewash to bring out the texture. Now I have a little powder room I'm proud to share with guests. As always, remember, the most creative solutions and the best stories begin with the biggest challenges. See you next time.